Welcome to Sustainocast 360, a CorpStage podcast where we bring changemakers together to discuss what truly matters in our world today. I'm your host, Meviana, and I'm delighted to bring you conversations that highlight bold ideas, sustainable innovation, and the people behind them. In every episode, we hand the mic to real-world changemakers, and today we're joined by two distinguished guests, Engineer Tan Hong Boon and Keith Kee, both winners of the CorpStage GreenTech Pitch Day 2025, were recognized for their leadership in driving sustainability through innovation. But before we dive into the discussion, let's take a moment to get to know them. Could you please each introduce yourself by sharing your name, a bit about your background, and one word that captures your sustainability journey?
Hello, good morning from Malaysia. My name is Engineer Tan Hong Boon. I am former founding chairman for Natural Farming Association Malaysia, which was formed about 5-6 years ago. I'm very passionate about environment and looking to growing food without harming the environment. In this line, do a lot of R&D work in natural farming. At the same time, I'm also a consultant civil engineer, graduate from NTU Singapore. That's where I met Keith. Keith, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Keith. I'm actually a classmate of our friend here. We lost touch until one fine day we decided to make a trip to visit him in Kajang. Well, that's where I found all this. Well, I've been in various industries, ranging from telecoms, engineering, and the last oil and gas. And I think the interesting part is now sustainability. We are looking at some technology for sustainability in the petrochemical plant, where we are removing carbon for using microbial technology from flue gas. That means the waste gas. But what is more interesting is when we are working together for this is that the results of this is almost immediate. You get a savings, of water immediately, and it can easily be implemented, unlike some of the more traditional industry. So that's the introduction.
Okay, thank you so much to both Tan and Keith. It's clear that your work is rooted in both exercise and purpose. Now let's dive into the topic that you've chosen to share with us today and explore how your innovations are helping to shape a more sustainable world. So Tan, let's start with you. What topic you and Keith decided to explore today and why is it so relevant right now?
We are doing the topic on a water-safe planting system applicable for landscaping works as well as for agriculture. And this particular new innovation is a nature-based solution towards sustainability and will reduce a lot of greenhouse energy usage, will reduce a lot of water, essentially water conservation issues. Places like Singapore, where every drop of water counts, and water is scarce resource, and this method would really be saving the nation a lot of millions of gallons of water every year if implemented on the island-wide scale. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tan.
Yeah.
So for Keith, what personally inspired you to focus on this area?
Okay. Yeah, this particular aspect of planting, we see that water is being used in planting for agriculture and landscaping work. In Singapore, especially, a lot of the rooftop landscape water is being sent up many stories high. You need energy to pump up the water. So our consideration is there is actually a niche system that we can use, which we have successfully tested, that water is given free of charge that comes down from the sky. It's a valuable resource that can be utilized to water all the plants instead of spending energy and water bills to bring the water up. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much. What an important topic to be discussed for today's conversation.
Yeah.
From cities battling water shortage to communities seeking for a smarter green infrastructure. And I
Yeah.
think this topic is really a timely and powerful theme. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we can dive deeper into your work and perspective. Okay,
Thank you.
let's begin with your individual insights. So maybe Tan could start first. You have around 5 to 6 minutes to explain how this innovation works, both
Yeah.
from a technical and financial standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Meviana. Okay. Now, from traditional agriculture and landscaping works, current practice is to water the plants early in the morning and also maybe once in the evening for agriculture. A lot of this water is actually goes to waste. When water is being watered to the ground from the top, okay, water seeps into the ground, and a lot of this water is actually infiltrated away. Of course, some of this is evaporated, and only a very small amount actually is used and taken up by the plants. Typically, maybe about 5%. Right. So what the idea that triggered me to look into this is actually if we can cut off the infiltration loss, if we can take up the water that fall down from the sky. Of course, as an engineer, we look at the rainfall chart pattern, the monthly rainfall chart pattern. And even in the dry months, February, May, June period, we still got about 4 inches of water. So the plants actually doesn't use that much water, right? So what we calculated, what is brought down from the sky is actually enough to water the plants the whole year round. So the problem that causes the major loss is actually infiltration. And because of this infiltration loss, farmers and landscapers or building management, they have to put in the water every day to make up for these losses, okay, to water the plants. So a lot of this water actually goes to waste. So this water safe planting system, right, we have experimented extensively, both on the small scale and also at the farm scale, and also implemented in this agro-tourism facility for herbal garden. So by putting in an impermeable membrane below the planted bed to store maybe about 2 inches of water, right? And that is good enough to provide water to the plants for a period for about 3 weeks in between the rainfall. So if the rainfall comes in and within these 3 weeks, then the rainfall itself will recharge and refill at the storage of water below the planter bed automatically without any human assistance or energy required. And that will provide a continuous water supply to the plants. So by so doing, we reduce the water input from the pipe water. We reduce the daily need for watering. So this method does away with the daily watering chores. So when we do away with the daily watering chores, No additional water is required. No manpower is required to go around to water the plants. No water is required to be pumped up the many stories. Thus, you save electricity bills. So when you look into the technical aspect of it, right? Plants roots naturally actually train downwards to look for water, but the commercial planting system of watering every day from the top means that it artificially train the roots to grow upwards. So when it artificially train the roots to grow upwards, right, in between the watering time of morning and evening, you get a hot drying period during the course of the day of the heat of the sun, and the top layer dries up. So when the top layer dries up with the roots looking for water at the top there, it causes the plant to go into dehydration mode, and that process actually shorten the hours of photosynthesis each day for whatever plants that one is trying to grow. But the water-safe planting system has trained the roots to behave naturally. The biointelligence of the plants goes down to collect the water as much as it needs. And the drying period of the top layer of the soil does not have any effect on the plant because the roots are down there and the water source is down there. So the plant is more stable and have longer photosynthesis hours compared to traditional growing methods. So from comparative experiment that we have observed, the plants using the water-safe system grows better, healthier, larger in size, and more fruitful and have a higher yield. And it also saves usage of fertilizer. In traditional way of planting, you water from the top, fertilizer is being systematically washed away and infiltrated away every day. So there is a corresponding loss of fertilizer, which have to be topped up every now and then. So by using the water-safe planting system, there is no of this washing away of the fertilizer every day due to watering because there is no daily watering chores. So the amount of fertilizer is that one has put in is preserved, and therefore the usage of fertilizer becomes more cost effective. Right. So these are the many benefits. If we put in together in terms of cost benefit, the cost analysis, right? So first thing, you save on water bill because you don't use water to water plants every day. Secondly, you save on the labor going around to water the plants, okay, the labor costs. Thirdly, you save on the pumping costs and the piping costs and the irrigation costs and the sprinkler system and the IoT system. You save all these capital costs because these things are no longer required. And fourthly, you save on not only on water bill, but in places like Singapore and Malaysia, the sewerage bill is tied to the water bill. So when the usage of water comes down, immediately there will be the substantial saving on the sewerage bills as well. And fifthly, you will find the savings on fertilizer cost. And then you get a higher productivity of your plants. You get a better profit margin and so on. So putting together, this is actually something which is a game changer in the agriculture and landscaping industry. So we hope that people take note and will want to explore the usage of this particular system, whether it be in the landscaping works or whether it be in the agriculture. Thank you. Over to you, Keith.
Okay, thank you so much, Tan, for the very detailed explanation of how the water safe planting system works. And now, Keith, how would you your initiatives align with or complement with this, how does this issue impact the society, especially in the urban or tech-driven communities, in your opinion?
Keith, are you
Yeah,
there?
let me answer the question. Nature provides everything for free. Nature provides gravity. It's for free and it's natural. So is water. So when we look at the urban environment, sometimes we do things against nature. For example, to water the plants, we pump water for a high-rise building, maybe a few number of stories. Whereas the nature is delivering water from the sky. So what goes against the nature requires energy, and that's where the cost comes in. You know, so the plant have a way of taking the nutrients and taking the water. So if we are able to utilize the root system, the natural capillary system, then we find that we can do away things like piping, things like pumping water, and even IoT monitoring. So this is where I think the system we have is interesting because it uses nature in terms of storage of water, in terms of usage of water by the plant. So that's the main difference. What what we are trying to do urban environment, it still follows the natural process, which is energy free and free from the.
Okay, thank you so much for your
Yeah.
insight. And yeah, I think it's very great that today we discuss the topic of nature-based biointelligent systems.
It is.
Yes, so let's go to the next section and we can dig deeper into this. So maybe Keith, we can start with you. What would you say that the existing urban systems and agricultural models are working with nature, or maybe against it? Are there any prices to it?
Keith, are you there?
Hong Boon, what should reply?
Yeah, okay. So there, if we look at the different planting system, okay, first one is of course the manual watering system, right? By which a worker goes around to water the plants every morning carrying some watering can. And so this one is a very tedious, involves labor, time, energy. At the same time, you involves, of course, the water by itself, right? The second method involves a sprinkler system. Now, in a sprinkler system, it's a traditional way of agriculture. Water is being spread everywhere, even in the pathway, walkway, and so on. So about 50% of it falls in the wrong place. So it's not a very efficient way to what do you call it, to use in agriculture. So people have gone into using the drip system, especially for agriculture, which is more targeted to deliver water to the plants. But at the same time, you still need to water the thing every day because the water is being infiltrated away as a loss. Same thing with the landscaping works. We noticed that in Singapore also a lot of, if we look closely at the landscaping work, there's a lot of minor, these pipelines, drip lines at the interval, very close intervals, maybe about 1 feet apart, you know. So you get rows and rows and rows of these. Of course, all this is controlled by an automated IoT system, right, which further enhances the usage and the timing of the watering. But you still need to put in water every day, and you still need the electricity. You still need all the computer system to handle the whole thing, right? So, but in contrast, the water safe system is a nature-based technology, it harnesses the power of nature to regulate and to grow the vegetables in an optimized way that nature only knows best. We talk about biointelligence. Okay, by using the traditional way of watering the plants, like I said, the roots is being trained to upwards. There's one thing is a rate against nature, and the wetting drying period is against with the roots up there on the upper layer, which has a drying period every day. It shortens down the photosynthesis hours, which is against nature again. Right. So we are offering what we call a nature-based solution and empowering nature and nature's biointelligence to work its best and allow it to work its best. At the same time, we recycle the rainwater so that we minimize the input of external usage of water and do away with daily watering chores altogether. So all these are very cost-saving, energy, sustainability at its best, you can say. Yeah. This is only but the beginning of our discovery. I think there are more to it than that, which we will continue to explore and to bring to the world the wonders of nature and sustainability. Yeah. Keith. Keith, over to you.
Yeah, let me give two scenarios. The first scenario is the planter bed is outside and is exposed to rain. So in weathers like places like Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, basically Southeast Asia, the planter bed will replenish itself every 2 or 3 weeks if it rains. So these countries, easily every week it rain, even a little rain. So that means it's almost perpetual replenish itself. That means you are saving up to 100% of the water, unless it's very severe drought 3 weeks. So outdoor is perfect. Indoor, you may not be able to get rain, but let's say you simulate, you water the plant every 2 weeks and then leave it alone for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, you water the plant. So the water itself is able to retain in the planter bed for 2 weeks. So immediately you're saving, assuming 2 weeks, you're saving 90% of the water that's required. And imagine that done without the piping system, which is almost you see everywhere in buildings, they have a piping system for watering the water. So this is actually 90% savings already of the water. Outdoor is almost 100% savings. So how drastic can nature help? This is how it works.
Thank you so much for your guys' systematic analysis to this.
Yeah.
Maybe Tan,
Yeah.
you've been in this field for with systems like WaterSafe, and based on your observations, especially in areas like Semenyi in Malaysia, as you mentioned on your pitch before,
Yes.
and are developers there prioritizing biointelligent, nature-aligned methods, or they are more into conventional systems, like still dominating as the water systems there?
They are the marginalized society, the natives, orang asli. Okay. And these are the people who cannot afford to implement all the costly IoT systems or computer system. They are mostly illiterate. Okay, they don't read, they don't write, or even if they can write, only very basic things. Right? So by configuring a nature-based system, and this allows them freedom of time, because it's unheard of that you can do agriculture and come only once a week. And the rest of the day you don't come because they are busy. Of course, some of them have some vocation, some job, some of them have to go to the jungle for an extended period of time where they don't have the time to attend to the watering chores every day. So this kind of system, it suits their lifestyle. And when we introduced the two systems together alongside at the start of the community farming training program, the conventional was the sprinkler system, and the other one was this water save system. After a week, they say, no, we don't want to continue with the sprinkler system because we will not be here every day to attend to the opening and closing of the pipes and watering the plants every day. So they opted, and they are very more comfortable with the water save system. And in that training program, they planted long beans 4 months from seedling to harvest without they watering a single day on the plot. That was what we achieved lah. Right, yeah, that was what we observed. And the finished product, the yield, the plant grows very healthy, and the yield long beans, we can get the yard long beans about 2 to 3 feet, and without much of the insect attack and so on. And when we brought this to the market, organic seller, they say, oh, this is a very high quality beans that you're bringing here, So yeah, so that was good lah. Yeah, we tested out the system. Yeah, it works very well for the marginalized society, low cost implement, high return, and low hours input. Yeah. Meviana, back to you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your answer. I think it's very impressive that the water safe planting system
Yeah.
not only give like good results for the nature, but also can give freedoms to the workers as well.
Yeah.
So yes, okay. So now let's consider environmental extremes. Like
Yeah.
many regions, like mentioned before, basically around Southeast Asia, may face drought or very low rainfall.
Yes.
And how well do the current infrastructures can adapt to these conditions? And do the biointelligence solutions offer a more resilient path forward?
Yes. This system actually is very well placed to overcome a lot of these drought areas problem. Because once you put in the water tanking system at the start, right, it can manage to fight through without rain, without watering for 3 weeks. So if you have a drought period of say 2 months, right, virtually if without water, the daily watering system, and drought, there's insufficient of water. Imagine if within these 2 months you need to water 4 times. You don't need to water 60 times 2 months drought. Okay, you only need to water 4 times. Okay, at most. So imagine amount of water usage is so little, right? So it's very well placed to overcome this particular drought system with a little bit of water storage. Yeah. And it also enables many areas to be planted, especially in hilly areas where there is no water supply, where the river is far away, where the well is too deep, right? So this particular system enables it to be planted on hill terraces and on places where there is very hard to find the water source. Yeah, all right.
Okay, let me approach it from another aspect. How much is the price of a chai-sim? I mean, you go to the budget, like what they call Carrefour and all this, they're selling 3 packets for $2. So if you put IoT, it adds a lot of money. So that means, I mean, we are not looking at durian trees. Durian trees, you can use technology, because when Mao Sawang is $30, $40, $50 a kg, you can afford technology. For chai sim, probably 1 kg is about $2, $3. So again, that's where we need to not delusion ourselves, because technology adds in cost.
Yeah.
Using a system adds in cost.
Yeah.
So as far as concerned is, we need to provide the basic, and like my colleague Hong Boon says, the farmers don't use technology, they can get a good return to the harvest. If they use technology, the margins become smaller. So how will it benefit the farmers and what they call the first tier people? Only the one installing the IoT will benefit because they charge money, but not the farmers,
Yeah.
not the bulk of the people.
Yeah.
So that's where the concept comes in. I mean, we are looking at trees, but trees is much more costlier. But trees can afford. I mean, durian trees can afford, right? But then again, they don't want this system. They want to take care of it manually because the returns is so much higher. So that is the differentiation. We're looking at mass market and also higher end trees.
Hey,
We,
thank you so much, Tan and Kate. Yes,
yeah. We are
anything
looking
you would
at
like to add?
we are looking at the corporation that spends a lot of money, right, and energy, right, to just to keep their landscape beautiful and nice. Okay, in the urban context, in the urban context, home gardeners they can go away on extended holidays without worrying their plants dying by using this particular system. Isn't it? Isn't wonderful, simple and good, right? And then for corporates, they will save a lot of their main long-term maintenance, water bill, energy bill, labor costs, and sewerage bill. So corporates always look at the bottom line. How can I save more money? At the same time, have a good green report or ESG report inculcated. So this system provides all this stuff. On top of the cost savings, they have also what they call it good sustainability item which they can put into their report by using this system. So I think this is where the attraction comes in. Yeah. So we are hoping to implement more of this system in some of the developments. Right.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for the insights. So now we can move on to the next round, which is the rapid fire round. So you guys will just answer around 15 to 30 seconds per questions, and maybe we can start with 10, and then Keith can directly follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the first questions would be any myth you guys would love to bust?
Water safe system is a nature-based solution. It goes against the artificial intelligence. This is nature's intelligence, right, which works much better, right?
Okay. And then Keith, how about you?
The first thing we got to think is about the farmers. They need to benefit. So how to benefit? Returns are high and cost is low. So this is where they will make money. If we add in a lot of intelligent costs, the production cost, operation cost goes up. But I don't think they maybe also a bit premium 10 to 20%, but that means the earnings reduce. So we actually looking to help people. We are not a lab spending money to make it super efficient, but super costly. So that's why, again, I repeat, nature makes it cheap, makes it affordable. And we try to take advantage of that so that at the end, it's the farmers who make the money. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the second questions would be one change every listener can make today.
Every listener can help to highlight that this is a new system that can be implemented anywhere in this world, especially in area where water is a critical issue. Now you have the war starting in Punjab and in this India and Pakistan. Water war is one of them. So agriculture is greatly impacted. This system can be implemented in those particular areas to help save the lives of many people as well from starvation. Yeah.
Okay, how about Keith?
Well, right now, the concept of water saving and scarcity started with more advanced nations like Singapore and Malaysia. I attended the eco-prosperity work, and I attended climate change. And surprisingly, it was a foundation in India, which is asking the question, because they are facing severe shortage, uneven distribution. So, I mean, it's moved from the more advanced country to the less developed country. So the scenario is changing. And, implement a lot of technology is very difficult, more difficult in these countries.
So, the last question would be, if your sustainability journey was a movie, what would the title be?
Groundbreaking, changing the trend in agriculture for the last millennium.
All right, thank you. And
Thank
Keith?
you.
Hong Boon has just summarized perfectly. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So, as we close today, I would love to hear your message to the future leaders tuning in today. Maybe Keith can start now. Feel free to share your message to our listeners. Or maybe Tam can start first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So do not disregard the power of nature to enhance the lives of a human being in sustainability. Going forward does not always mean AI will take over the world. AI do not provide all the solution. Sometimes we need to look and to learn and study about nature and to use the nature-based systems to enhance the lives of a human being going forward, whether it be for sustainability, environmentally friendly, and also for providing food sustainability. Right, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
so maybe Kate can start. Yes.
Yeah, we have mentioned, nature, simple, easy to do, but it doesn't mean that it's easy to do. Hong Boon is an engineer, skilled engineer. I'm an engineer. So we actually applied engineering principles. You may have heard of the word of capillary action, but it is applied. It is science and it's also applied for nature. So we actually, there's engineering principles apply. So it's not like say, oh, nature works this way, so we can. So everything is uh, detailed. We check the parameters. How deep should the bed be? Depends on the length of roots system. So it's all science. At the end of the day, science and engineering, not I feel nature works this way. Thank you.
Yeah, technical know-how, experiments. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for the insights today, from ideas to impact. I would really, I'm really impressed with the ideas of saving, that how we can save water to up to 90%, as mentioned by Kate before. And not only this water safe planting system can bring goods to the natures and financially helps us, but they also give freedoms to the workers as well.
Yes.
Yes, so
Correct.
thank you so much for sharing your stories and passion with us today. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Sustainocast 360. A big thank you to our panelists, Engineer Tan Hong Boon and Mr. Keith Kee, for sharing
Yeah.
your innovations, insights, and passion for building a more sustainable world through nature-based solution and water efficiency. To our
Yeah.
listeners, if today's conversation inspired you, sparked ideas, or even challenged your thinking, we encourage you to keep the dialogue going in your communities and industries. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and stay tuned for more conversations with the changemakers shaping a resilient and greener future. Until next time, I'm Meviana, and this is Sustainocast 360.